about a warning. You're about to share with my friend Michael W. Dean, a survivor, things about humanity and his methods for dealing with it. Brace yourself for some bare naked honesty. If you're willing to hear what Michael is saying, there are times when you'll laugh and times when you want to cry in the retelling of his truths. He has defined it so you can feel it. Take his example and live. I warned you earlier because this book is written in the same way Michael speaks. He's a straight shooter, a no pretense, a no excuses kind of guy that I love like a brother. Understanding how we are to deal with negative people, Michael has answers for you. The human race has its aberrations and monsters, and unfortunately, sometimes they are close to you. Michael gives you his take on them and how he handles the noise. I can guarantee you will pick up a tool to use from a user's manual for the human experience. As Michael says, his life is a teaching hospital.
A user's manual for the human experience. Kindle, paperback, and audiobook. Get it now on Amazon.
I think it's Windows 10. It must have reset a bunch of shit on my goddamn laptop.
Oh, yeah.
On my other laptop.
Man, it's always Microsoft's fault, never yours. Never take responsibility for anything you do.
If there's
blame it on Bill Gates. He's a rich guy.
If there's a possibility for me to blame it on Bill Gates or the state, I will take it almost every goddamn time.
Oh my God.
So
it's usually a safe bet. You'll be right.
Yeah.
Seeds of liberty. 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 Seeds of liberty.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 119th episode of the Seeds of Liberty podcast. As always, we are covered by a BIPCOT no government license. This allows for use by anyone except governments. Learn more at bipcot.org. So we are here again for like the 15th time tonight. Jesus fucking Christ. I am Jeremy, joined as always by Dave and Andre.
What up? What's happening?
We're joined tonight by David Lukart from the Zombies Government and You podcast. And we'll say hello to you again, David, since, I don't know what the fuck is going on tonight. We're having recording issues. We're having connection issues.
It's John McCain. It's the spirit of John
It is.
McCain
We were talking about him.
Machine.
He's trying to
fuck. They didn't like me making fun of John McCain.
He's astral projecting into your recording device and shutting it down.
Well, they all
Gentlemen.
float down here.
Hey, man.
They all float down here. And you'll float too. You look into his deadlights.
You'll vote
Don't
too.
Look into my eyes, your soul will burn.
Jesus Christ.
Alrighty then, on that note. Yeah,
Sorry, guys, I just had to get him out of here.
It's quite all right, Dave.
Yeah.
So yeah,
exercise the demons.
So yeah, we've been having a hell of a time trying to get started tonight. I don't know what the hell, like just anything and everything was going wrong on my end, and one of those things. I purposely don't change anything, don't change any settings. I just pick up my spare laptop and my amp. Yeah, I'm okay tonight.
Yeah,
my mixer,
amp. Sweet amp, bro.
my mixer, and move them to the other room, and then bring them back out when I need them. And just for some reason, everything went to fucking hell. I think it's Windows 10. It must have reset a bunch of shit on my goddamn laptop.
Oh,
on my other laptop.
Man, it's always Microsoft's fault, never yours. Never take responsibility for anything you do.
If there's
blame it on Bill Gates. He's a rich guy.
If there's a possibility for me to blame it on Bill Gates or the state, I will take it almost every goddamn time.
Oh my God.
So
it's usually a safe bet. You'll be right.
Yeah. So anyway, so we were talking before. We were rudely interrupted by the technical issues. You were saying I was picking on you for not putting out. I was picking on you for not putting out enough podcasts, and you were saying you have one coming out soon.
Oh yeah, it's in the editing phases.
Yeah, but there's some. Oh yeah, you keep showing up. Are you officially a Lobert yet, or you just keep being asked as a guest host? Because you've probably done more episodes than any of us at this point in the past couple of months.
Yeah, I'm the old faithful right now. I think it's safe to say that I am. He added my ugly mug to a flag, and yeah, I think at this point it's a safe bet. I think he actually named me a co-host at some point. So.
I must have missed that then. I don't remember. We were supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So it's good times, man.
We don't
I'm glad to be a
agree
part
on
of
everything,
that.
but he's a cool dude. I like that guy.
Jim G. Yes. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of
And
Jim Jesus.
I'm super happy to be back on your guys' show, man. Also one of my favorites. So thanks for having me.
Pleasure to
guys.
have you, boss.
Oh,
yeah,
It
man.
makes you feel all warm and tingly inside.
Warm and fuzzies.
Yeah.
so what's been big in the whole world of Dave Lukehart? What's going on? Like get everybody up to snuff.
You know, my kids are driving me crazy. No, I'm kidding. It's that time of year where they go back to their government indoctrination camps because a couple of them do go to public. Well, they go to charter schools. So it's
Statist.
a little better, but I know how dare I? But
At least
You gotta do what's right.
in the charter schools, you can get more directed curriculum, right?
yeah, absolutely. So
I
it's,
thought-
I'm not too sure how they
I
work.
thought they
it
still had to
depends on your
follow.
state, I think.
Oh, I thought they still had to follow that federal bullshit.
Yeah, they do to most, for the most part.
I
but
think there's a
they have just
baseline that they all have to follow, and then
Right.
the charter schools go like past that, like way past it.
Yeah, but the Common
Mm-hmm.
Core was implemented like as a federal thing. I thought. So
It is, and there is a
can't
little bit of
remember.
that in the ones that my kids go to, but I don't think it's quite as prevalent or leaned as heavily upon as some of the other public schools. So Arizona,
teach
that's
math, simple.
that's one
solution.
thing. I know we were talking about John McCain, and I've formally apologized for him on many occasions. But one of the things Arizona
your
does
fault.
fairly well.
It is your fault.
I know
damn
it's not my fault,
Arizonans,
man. Dang it.
Arizonians, whatever you are.
Arizonian,
in his
yeah.
district.
Arizonians. Well,
Well, he's a senator.
he's a senator, so yeah, it's
There's
like
no
the
fucking
whole
districts.
state.
Oh yeah. You're right. My bad. I'm an idiot.
It's like I
Jesus, Dave.
I have to keep eating it for Chuck Schumer over and over and over
Oh,
and over
God.
again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you don't
That I
no
think
room
is
to talk.
immeasurably worse.
Although,
I don't know.
see,
They're
I don't
pretty
know,
neck and neck.
man.
I don't know.
The two of them, like, yeah, that's some pretty tough
There's only
competition.
one worse.
They've both been
There's
around.
only one worse than Chuck Schumer,
Who?
and that was Rangel. But I don't. Is he still in there?
Well, Rangel was in the House. He wasn't a senator, I think, right? Yeah, because
thought he
he's.
got-
I'm
like-
just talking. Just
I
I'm,
thought he
I'm
got,
pretty sure he's
just
still
lump them all
no.
into one.
There's worse than. But well, I mean, what do you want? Rangel's an idiot, and he embezzled a hell of a lot of money and got busted. For owing back taxes and
still
stuff.
is.
And still never.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he got busted for.
He's from what is
evasion
he?
or something.
Brooklyn or the Bronx? I can't remember which district. Which district he serves. But like
Maxine Waters.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got
probably the
Maxine
worst.
Waters, and who's the other one? There's two. There's two of them. Two of the black
Lindsey
female.
Graham.
Yeah, but there's two of the black
Dianne
female
Feinstein.
ones that are just
Feinstein.
that
Kamala
are absolutely.
Harris.
Well,
Kamala
Dianne
Harris.
Feinstein.
see, I would actually
Dianne
no.
Feinstein.
See, I would actually rank Feinstein above a lot of them because she's not stupid at
Oh,
least.
I know who you're talking
Like
about.
Pelosi.
You're talking about what's her name?
Pelosi.
Yeah, Pelosi might be the number one.
Well, I was talking
You know that
specifically
she's worth-
senators.
I heard she's-
but
her
Pelosi
family-
is definitely awful.
I've heard Pelosi's family. She's enriched herself so well. Okay, that her whole family's net worth is somewhere around $1 billion now.
Probably.
Like that's what I've heard.
Well, Feinstein's
Like,
rich too because her
haven't seen the
husband.
proof or anything behind that, but
Feinstein's husband's
supposedly
real
like,
estate
they've monopolized
right?
a lot of shit.
I think.
Well, yeah, they've like bought up whole all the wineries in one town or whatever. They'll just
well,
buy it
then
up.
I mean, Pelosi's been selectively funneling money to California to projects that she knows her husband is going to be able to bid
Did you
and win
guys
on.
see that
so.
headline? One in
Is that both of them then?
one-third
Because
of all
everything you're
welfare
saying,
payments
Andre,
go to
I
California.
thought that was Feinstein. All the things you're saying, is it both of them?
Was
Do they
it?
do the same exact things then?
I'm pretty sure.
I could have
I
sworn
don't
it was.
know.
I
could
thought
be
it was.
wrong.
difference
I
between
could be wrong.
Feinstein and Pelosi. There's real no discernible difference.
Well, no,
Well,
like
no,
no,
I don't
well,
wanna
no.
say something
Again,
that's inaccurate.
Again, listen to him speak. Feinstein is evil, but she's intelligent. Pelosi
She's cognizant of her evil.
is dangerous because she's stupid as fuck. I don't think she's
blindly
necessarily
evil.
evil. She's just dangerous because she's dumb.
No, she's
And she's in a
necessary.
position of
yeah,
power.
it must have been Feinstein. It must have been Feinstein then. I don't know why I got the two confused.
It might be both
I
of
don't know.
them. I remember the
Probably.
stories of Feinstein because Feinstein's the one who became mayor after the whole Harvey Milk shooting, right, in San Francisco.
Yes, I believe so.
So I believe yeah, I'm pretty sure those stories are connected. Yeah, I think so. Okay. I'm trying to. It's been a while since I've looked for any reason looked into that in either of those psychos, but I don't know. I don't know how we
They're
got
all
here.
Crazy.
We-
And then you got
They're
that,
all
the
cancer.
Republican. What was his the king? Richard King. Is it Richard King?
Steve,
No.
Steve King.
Well, no.
The one up there around you.
Oh, me? Oh, no. In the house we have. Yeah, I live under two of the worst because I have Peter King in the house, who's my direct
Yes, that's
Congress
it.
critter, and Schumer.
Oh.
Although the junior senator here, Gillibrand, is not much
You're
better.
in the worst, man. Ugh.
Yeah, you want to talk
Yeah,
about
the
pure
worst.
evil? Chuck Schumer and Peter King, those two. Well, they're not even humans. Those two. Those two are fucking pure evil.
Easy. We're trying to keep this show on iTunes. Come on. Easy, pal.
What?
What?
We're not keeping our show anywhere. What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
So
Any hoodle.
Yeah, so yeah, they're all poison. Whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, school. So sending the Rugrats off to their indoctrination camps. And
Yeah, and I've been wanting to get my book going, so I've been doing a lot of research for that. So that's the reason I'm a little behind on
Ain't
putting
nobody
shows out.
need that no book learning.
Hey, who reads
a paddling.
anymore? Am I right?
That's a paddling.
Wait a minute, you're writing a book? I'm confused.
too paddling.
Is that what you said?
I'm sorry.
You said you're writing a book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just starting out, so formative or research, and
Have we talked about
What's
this
the-
before?
that takes up a
'Cause
lot of time.
I don't remember. What are you writing?
What's
it
the
on?
general topic of it?
Believe it or not, it's about more or less a zombie apocalypse. Imagine that, but
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
yeah. So
Interesting. That's my favorite horror subcategory.
yeah, but I want to keep it kind of on a more of a small scale. Not like a military, sized thing like World War Z or anything. So just kind of bring it down to like what most of how like an average person may be affected by it and what they could do.
The zombie
in a
apocalypse
novel
in
setting,
small time America.
So, like, what Coral Grimes would do if faced with that situation? Coral.
That's another one of
Yeah,
those shows I've still
basically,
never watched.
I look at like everything The Walking Dead does, and I'm like, I'm going to do the opposite because they do.
Yeah.
At least in the show, they pretty much do everything wrong. But I guess
Yeah.
that's a source of
Having never watched it, but knowing your affinity
plot
for
devices
zombies, I would I'll take your word for
Didn't
it.
the
I'll
lead
watch your
actor
show.
of that show die?
I'll read your book instead of watching that show.
Didn't we
No,
dispel
I
that
don't
rumor
think
last
so.
time?
No, that was a hoax. Rick Grimes
Right.
didn't die.
Yeah, wait a
Nope.
minute. Didn't you? You did try to bring that up the last time we had him on.
Okay, yeah, man. I swore he died. Man, these freaking fake news.
This is what happens when you invest your
fake news
life in conspiracy and reading stuff from the Drudge Report, Dave.
Fake
This is what happens.
news. Yeah, you gotta wait for CNN to verify it. I might as well just stop.
Then it's real.
Just
You
People
might as
know
well
it's
just stop. You might as well just stop.
Well, none of it's
Damn
real,
it, Dave. Damn it, Dave's.
Damn it,
Dave's.
Dave's.
It's always good to have that name because my brother-in-law is also named David. So
Jesus.
one of us becomes Dave, and then the other one becomes David. So hopefully, I'm kind of used to it for that reason, but hopefully it's not too confusing for your audience. So I'm sure they're smart
Oh, it
enough to
will.
figure
It will
out.
be, and I'm going to play it up. I'm just gonna start throwing around the name Dave and not even specify who I'm talking to.
Excellent.
huh?
What?
It's my name.
Huh, wait.
My name.
Yeah, but now you just gave everybody
him,
a
me,
warning, though.
who?
So Andre,
Right.
so now they're going to be looking for it.
Don't worry. They won't catch on. They won't find. They won't figure it out.
And here we go. Now I was complaining after the show last week about our numbers tanking a little bit, and now here's Andre insulting our audience, calling him stupid because they won't notice something that he just said he was going to do. Awesome.
We're losing it.
You're welcome. Thank you for your patronage.
We're bad.
Please donate to our Patreon.
Hashtag please
Hashtag,
donate.
please damn it. Yeah.
Please give us money.
Or
Not
to
right
our
now.
Bitcoin account. That'd be nice too.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm such a loser. I still haven't got around to getting my Bitcoin thing set up.
You.
See,
What kind of,
I thought I was.
Dave.
I am no libertarian.
I thought I was late to the game. Man.
No true libertarian, right?
I'm still trying to.
You gotta have
I'm,
your Bitcoin, man,
I'm still waiting on getting my Bitcoin
and a
cash.
fedora. Duh.
I haven't.
Yeah, I got to get the fedora because I can't grow a neck beard. I don't grow a beard as well as you, Dave.
What the hell
or
kind of
Jeremy, so-
libertarian are you?
Yeah, if you
Can't
don't have
grow
a
a neck
fedora,
beard. What the hell is this shit?
If you
That's
have
right,
a
okay.
fedora, neck beard, and Bitcoin, get the hell out of the doors there.
And I don't live in my mom's basement. It's crazy.
I hate fedoras. I just want to grab
I
everyone
look like
see
I live
and
in my
throw it
mom's
on the ground and
basement.
stamp on it and walk away.
Which
Which
wanna record.
makes me so sad because fedoras used to be like a really awesome piece of clothing. They used to go really
Yeah.
good with like 3-piece pinstripe suits, and now nothing.
Yeah, if you're
Now
Eddie
it's-
Murphy.
No,
Whatever.
No, I'm
You're gay.
I'm with Andre on that. You know what? As long as you still wear it with a suit, you can. But if you wear it with anything else, then yeah, it kind of looks.
And what the
you're-
crappy
Yeah.
part is, it's not even like you can't. You have to wear the right fedora with a suit. It's not just like, oh, hey, look, I have an Indiana Jones hat. And it just because that's all I ever see. That's all I ever see out of the fucking neckbeards is the Indiana Jones cap. Like they're fucking
If you
Dr.
see
Jones.
a fedora, just know that they've said the phrase "milady" in the last 30 days.
Jesus, yes, they have. Son of a bitch.
Sincerely.
On the
Son of
regular.
a
What's
bitch.
what's wrong with my lady?
As
I mean,
they
what-
tip the cap.
Unironically.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There's a lot wrong with milady. It's so cringy.
There's a lot of things that are cringy that people say every day, man. Whatever.
Oh yeah, like, hey man, we need to get equal representation for women in the workforce, but there's 80,000 genders.
Yeah.
Yeah, why you got to discriminate against all those minorities, bitch?
Maybe milady
Yeah,
is
that's
their
what I'm
preferred
saying.
pronoun. So how do you know?
Yeah, speaking of that,
Oh my gosh, that would.
Did you see that story? Did you see that story? Another restaurant tried to do that bullshit man tax. I think it was out.
Oh, some vegan cafe.
Oh yeah.
I think it was out in
Yeah.
Like
Oregon. Some
Probably.
place
all
tried it here.
All
in
those restaurants tank that do that.
Well, exactly. Someplace. Well, you know what? They didn't get away with
did
it
it
here
help?
in New York. They did it. They tried doing it here in a place in New York a couple of months back. I don't think that lasted very long. But in Oregon, maybe if they're close enough to Portland, it might work for a while. Because
Did it open in that? Sorry, did it
there's
open
a
in that
coffee,
shop that the communist shop that closed down because nobody
Oh
was
Jesus, that was a fucking.
opened
Oh,
up
that's
right
a
next
coffee
to
house
it.
in Seattle that had different prices. There was one for straight white males, one for women, and then it had like different prices as like a degrading scale of victimhood.
Yeah, but the problem is there's people that will those psycho guys that call themselves feminists that will go there and buy it in order to and pay the extra money to keep them going for a while.
Well, I am privileged because
Yeah.
someone told me that once. And
It's my-
I'm too
Virtue
much of a
signal
coward
the
to ask
left.
them why.
God
Exactly.
wills it.
Oh God, that makes me think of
Dude,
that.
just anytime someone calls
can-
you something, just say why, and then say why after that, and then say why after that until they can't. They should be able to answer you clearly. And
They
if
won't.
it's not a clear answer, keep asking
won't.
why.
I want to go to that coffee shop and go up and be like, well, I identify as a black woman, so can I have that price?
Well, exactly.
I'm a Muslim
See what- you know
trans
what I mean? Like-
female.
And
you
if
know?
if they have an issue, then are you assuming my gender? I mean,
I'm gonna. sue
we were
you
talking a
for
little bit earlier about
discrimination.
out SJW and the SJWs, so I think that could be a
Guys,
good way to
all
troll
I'm
them.
saying is I am in fact Dolphin Ken. Okay,
Dolphinkin.
and I would really appreciate it if you'd start referring to me.
Still,
As such.
still better than whatchamacallit, perpetual victimkin, which is
Oh, Jesus.
that's what I call the SJWs. Most of
A
them.
victim, Ken.
Yeah, perpetual
I
victimkin.
identify as a victim. Whenever I'm not really a victim, I just make something up so I can just keep this whole identity thing going.
I identify as a toaster.
Yeah.
Well, you see, toasters remind me of ovens, and you know what ovens were used for? They were used to burn up people in World War II, and then
How
can't
dare
just
you
say
call me a
anything like-
Nazi, sir?
Exactly.
You see, well, you know what the victim mentality breeds? It breeds idiots that compare. What the hell was that idiot comparing this? to
Literally
rape?
Hitler.
State action.
No,
It's always the state action,
comparing
too. They're always
sweetheart
like,
to
"Hey, the
rape.
state did
Comparing
this,"
calling
and-
someone calling someone sweetheart to calling someone a
Oh, yeah.
rapist. That's what victimhood.
Oh yeah, I saw
that's
some
what
old guy
victimhood leads
say,
you to.
some old guy just trying to move past some lady who was like, "Excuse me, sweetheart," and she flipped the fuck out on this guy. She was like, "Sweetheart," it's just like, lady,
Oh,
lady.
look at that.
get the hell outta
Dave's
here.
got another
Like,
story
I
about it.
gotta-
See right there. Yeah.
Was it Ashley Judd?
Was it?
Nah, it could have been.
I think she got somebody
It's just
fired over
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's-
Ashley Judd's off her fucking rocker.
And she used to be
Yeah,
so
something
hot
happened,
too.
man.
It's a
Something
shame.
happened back in the day when that shit would pop off. Everybody'd be like, "Bitch, shut up," and no one would bat an eye. But now it's like, "Oh my gosh, we got to do something about this." It's like, who cares?
Well, because
Like, oh, a lady's mad.
no, it's the
Let her go write some shit
PC.
up.
It's PC culture run amok. Which is exactly what it's
Ugh.
pretty much going to do all the time. Even from the earliest iterations of it in the during the Russian Revolution. It's it's just part of the divide and conquer stuff.
That and the more publicity these people get, the more incentive there is for people that want to feel important to go out and find ways to make themselves victims.
Yeah.
It's the victimhood Olympics. That's what it is.
Victimhood
Everybody's
Olympics.
competing
You just
to be
had
the
the
most
crab,
victimized
Parable
group.
of the crab intensifies 20-fold.
Crab bucket intensifies.
Oh, that's all social democracy has done for us is crab bucket intensifies. Literally.
Word.
They've stumped everybody.
No, yeah, and I think that's a lot of that's led to that has led to the pushback that you see with like why populists like Trump are getting elected, and every time somebody goes full SJW or what have you, like the guy with Google getting fired because
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that
if you
was
guys-
another
yeah.
fucking fiasco.
Oh, his
Jesus.
worth went way up after that. Like I'm glad he did it.
Fuck yeah.
No, absolutely, and he
I
actually
didn't
wrote
I
a
didn't
fairly
follow that
well.
story too closely, so I don't really actually know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't read the.
You want me to give you the TLDR?
Sure.
The guy,
Break it down.
this guy writes basically like an anti-diversity memo, like basically saying everything that we all know, like down in our observable brains. And that Google fires him for it, and now like a bunch of women are suing Google for discrimination and stuff. And then this guy's already got, WikiLeaks has already offered him jobs. There's a couple other people have offered him jobs. He's already been on Molly News show, Fox, a few other shows to talk about it. Like,
Which
this
WikiLeaks
guy's
would
going
offer
to
me
either
a
be able to
job.
start his own company
Oh,
or
yeah,
get
easy.
hired by a whale. But if you read the memo, I read the whole thing top to bottom. It was dead. It was there was a few things that were like, okay, this is kind of your subjective opinion, but about 90% of it was dead on. Dead
Yeah,
on.
I mean,
It was very well reasoned and thought out. For the most part.
the entire focus was his big point was, look, men and women are not the same. We operate differently.
Oh no.
If you, I know, right? That was his starting point. And what's funny is he prefaced the whole thing with like, look, I'm not being sexist. I don't hate women. I think women can achieve just as much as men can. Like, he prefaced the whole thing.
Oh, that's just
by
like
saying, look,
that's
I'm not-
just like saying I can't be racist because I have a black friend, Andre. Give me a break.
Oh, I know, right? I know. that should have been like his first tip off. That, like, you know what, this is probably not going to end well for me. And I'm starting to think maybe he did it intentionally. But no, his whole big thing was, look, hiring quotas are not legal. I know we don't care about that on the show, but like, hiring quotas are not the right way to increase diversity. If you want to increase the number of women in the workforce, provide incentives for women. Offer more part-time positions, because women tend to take more time off of work because they tend to have families. They tend to spend more time caring for families than men do. And stuff like that. Like basic common sense suggestions, like to provide incentives to encourage women to sign on and apply to Google, right?
Well, see, common
There was
sense.
this, and then
That's
he-
your second. That's your second mistake right there. I mean, come on.
I know, right?
Trying to appeal to that
this,
with
and
these
he
people.
also pointed out
These
that,
people.
that Google has spent all this money on diversity and stuff, and then he was like, look at the top corporate look at the top of the corporation. We've spent all this money on diversity training and all trying to hire people, and yet the top of our company still sits mostly men, mostly white. Like, obviously we're wasting money and time. This is all just a big PR stunt, and a lot of people are being lied to.
And they fired him for that. Interesting.
Yeah,
and
basically.
the left is just gushing over this guy, even though Google is operated and owned and run by mostly a bunch of older white dudes. But hey, it's okay. It's Google. It's Google. They fired the non-believer.
I was
Burn
looking
the
at a
heretic.
screen cap
Unbeliever.
of all of these high level coders and employees at Google, and all of them had like my preferred pronouns and stuff in their description on like their LinkedIn and stuff. So something's crazy going on in the top of Google. They target hired and ideologically hired and purged and did that for far too long, and that's why they're degrading as a product.
I was gonna say, yeah, that they're gonna shoot themselves. If I've heard that, I did hear that from a couple other people, that same kind of analysis. And if that is indeed the case, then yeah, they're definitely gonna be shooting themselves in the foot, because I mean, anytime you artificially limit your talent pool, essentially, you know, you're pretty much dooming yourself to failure.
Look, like I hire farmers if I don't agree. If I come across a guy who's a Democrat or whatever, I'm not gonna. If he's the best farmer at this, I'm not gonna not take his plants and his money or whatnot just because of that.
Yeah, unless they're doing something else that's going to cause a problem, you know, cause friction in your relationship, then yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you can do that if you want. If that's how you want to run your business, go for it. I don't see you being very successful. It's kind of like, you know, one of the few friends that I've had in my current business over the years, who was a really sweet lady and like really loved doing the whole pet sitting thing, but her entire family, she has like 3 or 4 kids, I can't remember, and her husband are all like deathly allergic to dogs. Yet she continues to try it. Like she kept, like, you know, for years she kept trying and would call me and like always ask, hey, you know, do you have any extra work you could throw my way? And it's just like, I felt bad, but it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. I kept telling her, you know, despite your love for animals and your, you know, love to do pet sitting, perhaps you should consider another avenue, since your entire family could, like, you know, go into, you know, could end up, you know, in severe pain and severe discomfort at the very least, and be, you know, because and you're also, you know, limiting yourself, because then she would only take hypoallergenic dogs into our house. It's like, yeah, there's not enough of those to go around here. You realize that, right?
Not even if it's not even in New York, then you're not gonna get it. Like that's
in Manhattan, she could probably get away with it, but out here on Long Island, no, it's a lot harder, you know. But like, is that just that general idea? People just, you know, they keep fighting against what so obviously is just, you know, a losing battle. But whether they're just that naive, or they're just like digging their heels and they refuse to let go. You know, they do recognize the issue, but they just keep pushing forward because they're like, what's it, the sunken cost fallacy? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Where you've already put that much time, effort, money. I can't give up now. That's the one, right? Yeah. So
we can't give up on our good idea.
Yeah, that type of thing is what I'm talking about.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say, but what's your thoughts on that, Dave?
David.
Yo. Oh,
Dave.
Oh, David. That's me. No, I mean, absolutely. If there's not enough market demand to meet what your abilities are, your passion is, then you have to shift gears. You know what I mean? As far as if you're speaking specifically to, you know, the lady with the dog problem, but as far as the Google thing goes, yeah, I think diversity in terms of
forcing is the problem.
Right. There's diversity in terms of gender or race or background is a strength if it's organic or if it benefits the business naturally, right? But yeah, when you try to force it through quotas or what have you, then it can take a really bad turn. And that whole thing, like you mentioned, that where their LinkedIn is, you know, their preferred pronouns, and that stuff can really start to eat away at a culture of a business. I think, you know, like it's one thing that you should respect individuals on an individual level, you know, like you respect your coworkers, respect your.
But if you're gonna slip up and call somebody the wrong thing and get fired for it, it's like, man, coming to work is really a chore,
Right.
guys. I don't know if I call Charlie Zer and Sheila Zim and like guys, come on, keep up here. Like, we're trying to get work done. It's like the idea of actual work needs to get done is gone, and the idea of morale behind the actual workers that actually make things happen matters. Like, that's just
Right.
gone in corporate world now.
Yeah, and if your employees are too worried about keeping their job, lest they slip up and insult somebody, they're not going to be focused on being productive. Creating a better product or service. It becomes this kind of cancerous culture inside that business, and I think it'll
right.
eventually hollow it out or decrease its efficiency and. Eventually somebody will come up and take more of a bigger role or market share away from them. So, yeah, I think it is a balancing act. You want to be respectful of each individual's wishes and choices, but at the same time, not let it run away so far that it destroys your business. So, which it sounds like is kind of the road Google's going down if this is what they're doing when an employee writes a fairly reasonable and logical.
We've
rebuttal
noticed
to their
it on our
critique
practices.
Yeah.
Correct.
We've noticed the censorship on our stuff. So if they're censoring us, then they're definitely censoring their employees. Like, well, the first 20, 30 episodes we put out of this podcast on YouTube, increasing views. And then it's like right when we were about to kind of break it, it was like, boom, killed them. And nothing changed. Nothing changed except for algorithms, and that's happened on Facebook. That's happened on
That's
Twitter.
not true. That's not true.
happened
That's
on
not true.
every-
Lots actually changed, but I get your point. we switched
Well,
co-hosts.
we've been stifled and stymied.
We
along
actually got
this
our
way.
quality actually got better. It got worse for a while. Then it got better again. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But we have been algorithmically stifled just because of the way our messages, the tags we use, the content we put out. I mean, we've had several memes go viral on our Facebook page only to have basically the next couple of weeks all of our stuff crushed. So how does that happen?
Yeah, that really did. That's kind of why I gave up making memes on a regular basis, because I just that became disheartening. Like you'd make one that would get a million reach in a couple of days, and a whole crap load of shares and stuff. It's like, all right, we're doing good, lots of people are seeing the site, and then nothing for weeks. It's like, really why am I even bothering, man?
Or if you share someone else's stuff or whatever, it'll blow up, and then but the minute you post a content link of your stuff, nope, they want you to pay for anybody to see it.
Which just blows my mind.
know.
It blows my fucking mind.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, and it's like there are certain people that are only on Facebook because there are certain people on there. And
Yeah, but
for instance,
there's-
Jared Howe just caught a 30-day ban right after a 7-day ban for the same post. For the same post.
Which he deleted afterward, or he deleted before.
Like when he
even
got back on,
banned.
he deleted, and then they still banned him after he deleted it.
well, I mean, but
So
that
they're deplatforming people hard right now.
no, well, that's something that they do to anybody who's been banned for 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, enough times. It just becomes almost an
But for
automatic
the same
thing.
post? They
Yeah,
didn't even
it's-
repost?
It's because if there's enough reports on it, it'll just get recycled again because people, and if there's somebody going after you, they'll keep I've had it happen to me.
It's kind of like
I mean, I
prison.
got
They
banned for
they
a
tack
post.
on years for bad behavior. I guess you thought you were done, but here's another 5 years.
Yeah, but
It just
oh.
that was just another antidote, is all I'm saying. It's
No,
just,
no,
they're literally cracking down
yeah, but I was
on even the small fries,
Well, sure, but what I was going to say is that even kind of tied to what we were just talking about, the reason that the reason that whole thing continues overall, like you said it, Dave, they want you to pay, is because there are people who are currently paying them. So as long as enough people,
There are, and
as
their-
long as
their
enough
reach
people
is
keep
horrible.
acquiescing, and either people who agree with Facebook's policies and just overall vision or whatever, and are just happy to pay it, or other people who are kind of just like, fuck it, they recognize Facebook is going to be beneficial for their
Nothing's
business.
taking Facebook out.
Currently, no.
Nothing's taking them out. No, nothing's going to take them out unless it is these three things. Flawlessly integrated with your Facebook, meaning like you can just rip and get all your friends from your Facebook, right? It is basically Facebook, has all the same features, but is decentralized. And all the money that's going to Zuckerberg and co. would then go to the users in either the form of a digital currency used on that site or Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever, it doesn't matter. The problem is no one's put these 3 or 4 things together yet. They all want to make Steam it, or they want to make this or that. They don't want to just completely jack Facebook, mirror the site, decentralize it, and go. I don't know why.
Well, okay, so my question
why
is, how
reinvent the wheel? 98% of all social media is Facebook.
Right, but what do you mean by mirror the site? Like,
you just take basically the code that's behind the site and how it operates, and then you find a way to decentralize this to where it cannot be shut down by anything. And then, boom, you let it go. And all the profits that Zuckerberg's getting, you let the people get that use it, the content providers.
I mean, have you checked out the busy.org UI for the Steam blockchain? It was very similar to Facebook. The experience is pretty close. Plus, they have an onboard messenger and a couple of other features that the standard Steam at UI doesn't have. So, I mean, it's coming along.
It's like a version 1.0 of kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
what I'm talking about is kind of.
But what I'm saying is, like, there's people have started to catch on to this and are starting to develop newer and newer ideas. Like Dan Larimer is coming out with EOS, which is a completely different blockchain idea, which is supposed to handle like tens of 1,000 transactions a second.
Wasn't Larimer the one who started Steemit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a bad history, from what I remember. he has
only thing about Steemit is it was 80% pre-mined, and I know that doesn't when you hear that it's like wow, but
yeah, that's insane.
To me, that's a little too much. Pre-mine. Like that's
most
that's
coins,
a big pre-mine. Like pretty much
most coins don't even do 10. Right? Most coins do like 5 at most.
Investment in cryptos for crypto investor guys is a 25. If there's anything over 25, don't get out. Like it's not somebody's going to be a big whale and be able to dump and crash the currency.
Yeah, but for other ones, like for example, for Ethereum and Bitcoin, what do you do with Ethereum?
I know
and Bitcoin?
Steemit has all these
What do you mean? What do you do with it?
Bitcoin's obviously an adoption thing, and Ethereum's obviously adoption thing. There's
that's what I'm saying. What do you do with Ethereum and Bitcoin?
I buy things with Bitcoin currently.
Okay. I mean, and I understand that, but again, Steam is a little bit different than, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin in that it's not just a medium of exchange. It was designed with the user interface in mind. They were built together. So it may be a different case in terms of, it was pre-mined. Well, okay. I mean, it's, again, but it's still... The entire purpose behind it was to set up the rewards pool so that you could create accounts for free, which would be paid out from the Steemit Incorporated account, which is the one that owns most of the coins, is the company account. And its purpose is to provide funding for account creation and for site maintenance and all the rest of the stuff, and then the rewards pool that it pulls from. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you have to understand it's not just, we created a coin and it's 80% pre-mined in here, go trade it. Like, there was additional functionality added to it that it was shipped with, right?
I got that. But, I mean, I was in on, the day one of that release where you could get in and make your accounts, and, the day I heard that, I was like, 80% pre-mined, I'll just play around with it. So that's basically where I've been with Steemit. Obviously, there's no telling where it could be in a few years, but I think, I think it's a version 1.0.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
I'm not suggesting it's going
just
to
like
be
Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin 10.1 going to look like? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, nothing like current Bitcoin, So
it's going to have 5 other Bitcoin offshoots after every hard fork it goes through.
Basically, you're going to see a combination of currency, social media, the Bitcoin, the blockchain, all of it into
There
one
wasn't
thing.
even a hard.
Like,
There
Well,
was
all of
supposedly
that into
AmpShare,
one-
supposedly AmpShares was supposed to be doing that, right? Like the AMP network or whatever.
I don't know.
You get
I don't know what
AMP.
that is.
Yeah, well, it was. I read about it. It was blowing up all of like last year, and like they were getting ready to launch. It was going to be like the next big thing. It was going to be like Steam at 2.0, and it was going to be great, and yada yada whatever. And then nothing.
Near.
Big old nothing burger.
Mm.
So I don't know, but I mean, it's
usually a
nice
big
that
old nothing burger.
it's fantastic that we're going in that direction. That there's already platforms and blockchains designed specifically for this purpose, which is great.
No.
Yeah, when you could the prospect of mining a currency out of thin air, which is essentially how the fiat currency works, but you control it, you adopt it, it's voluntary to use. Like you could start up any little breakaway society you need and have it fully functioning just off of a cryptocurrency. And a lot of people still aren't really looking at it that way. Like you and all your homies could go to an area and be like, we're only using Litecoin in this area and we refuse to use any other cash or any other thing. Like if that starts growing, it's over. Like that's the only thing people will accept in the area.
Hyper localization of cryptos. Is that
Yeah.
what you're
No, it's
referring
like
to?
it's like secession. It's like secession, but in the monetary sphere, right?
It's currency.
Well,
secession,
I'm
literally.
all
Yeah,
I'm all
thank you,
for
Andre.
that because I was always for the as I took my transition from libertarian into anarchism through both of
Ooh,
those.
you transitioned.
Yes, yes, and I'm
Congratulations.
finally comfortable with admitting that. Through that whole time, I was still, I was a fan of the idea of local currencies in general. Because I had a couple of friends who were involved in trying to create local currencies for wherever they were, and they were getting some adoption within some of the like local stores and stuff like that. So I like that idea in general, and I like it even more for cryptocurrencies. So yeah, I mean, I know you've talked about it before,
Because
Dave.
it can't be
but-
stopped. They can collect all of the local currency and burn it or whatever, or your gold or whatever. Oh, we seized your computers. Okay, somebody's got the blockchain on a thumb drive. We'll have the computers back up and everybody's wallets back up functioning in no time.
Right.
You can't stop it, but people aren't really grasping it yet. It's like we're just gonna have to do it, guys.
I think
Like no one's gonna understand it till it's freaking done.
I think it is slowly more people are starting to realize it because with every, with so many things with the media, their attempts to when they push too hard on a certain thing, it often backfires on them. So with every supposed death of Bitcoin, and then you have situations with like
$3,000
with right now, yeah, it's still currently trading at around over $3,400 currently.
I'll give you guys a current price here.
I got 34.39
It
on
is-
Kraken, whatever.
Yeah, 34.29 is what I got. So yeah.
So yeah, with every one of those deaths that led to it being considered to be worth more every time afterwards. I think more people are starting to realize that. I mean, more people are adopting it too. It seems, small. I keep seeing more and more smaller companies.
I think the
not
pool
enough
is
around
safe
here,
enough
unfortunately.
that people are getting in the shallow end. They're getting their ankles and their knees wet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Like
mean,
enough people. They're not in the deep end yet, but they see that it's safe to get in the water.
well, yeah, and I mean, I know even I know plenty of libertarians and anarchists who had held off on doing it, and have
Well,
finally
laughed
now
at me.
the past two surges in prices. A lot more people I've seen ask others or have actually asked me, hey, do you know where I can purchase? All of a sudden they're like, oh, geez, I really finally got to get involved in this. Because,
Yeah.
no matter
Well,
how.
they thought they missed that. It happens badly. The people, there's a window and everything. There's different adoption, parabolas.
Well, they did miss
so-
multiple windows, but it's still not too
They
late
did.
to get in.
The 220 window was the one where I was like screaming to everyone that I knew.
Which is the
"Please
one?
buy
Which is the one I
Bitcoin."
listened to you at. I bought most of mine
Okay.
as we've discussed before.
I was like,
most of my Bitcoin was bought in at $250.
I bought a risky amount of Bitcoin. Like I couldn't really afford it that time.
Neither
Like,
could
I was
I.
like, it'll never go below this. Do
If
you have
only.
any Bitcoin, David?
No, man, that's one thing I'm working on, and every day I kick myself for not getting in sooner. But like you said, the time to get in is now. You know,
It's always the time to get in.
yeah, you can always look back and say, oh, I should have, could have, would have got in at this point and made this. But like you said, it's never ever gonna go super low, and as long as you manage it, as an investment in a reasonable way, I think it's always a good thing to have. Absolutely.
Well, you have to think about this. Every second you waste thinking about the past and it's not in use to learn, that's another second that you're not being able to set yourself up to profit in the future.
Right.
So,
I
meet a lot of people that waste a lot of time on like, man, well, I've already blown my shot on this. Like, no, start now. Like, go.
Yeah,
Get on it. Absolutely.
I went through that.
Not with Bitcoin, with everything.
Yeah, but I did it with Bitcoin. The first time I was going to get in, and I was like, oh, I missed it. When it surged up, I think to 1,000 the first time. I was like, oh, damn, and then I forgot about it for a while.
Or you're like, oh, wait till it drops in
bananas.
price again, right? So,
It's storming real bad right now. If I drop, you'll guys know why.
ooh,
You'll guys know why?
You guys will know why. Sorry.
gonna get droned.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm getting harped right now.
Ugh.
Well, they're just using it as a cover to mask the predator drone that's coming for your house.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Damn, man.
Buddy, they have such
Deep.
good control right now.
Deep.
You cannot run. You can't stop it. Anything.
That's
Just open out. Just look. Here's where you want to be, guys. You want to be the first ones they have to take. All right.
well, I don't know. I just look at it. I mean, obviously, with certain things, be as safe as you can. I guess be as private and secure as you can. But at this point in this point in history, if the United States government sets its sights on you, they're going to get you one way or the other.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you might as that's why I don't go as crazy anymore worrying about certain things, because it's like, if they do, you're screwed. Once you know they're looking for you, you're screwed. So
The Eye of Sauron will find you.
exactly.
Oh, dude, it's so close. Like, Lord of the Rings is so close to how it is in real life. No, people have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that the other day. It's been a long time since I've read those books. I was thinking about, even though I've currently
Read them under new light, man. It'll really.
Well, no, that's what I want to
blow
do,
your mind.
because I mean, as I've discussed before, that series of books I've probably read more than any other books in my life. Like the first time I read it, I was like maybe 12 years old, and because my parents had a copy.
I've got the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital lined up to reread.
Yeah,
DOS
I haven't-
like MS DOS.
Die Kapital.
DOS.
nice.
I haven't read those two in a long time, and I certainly haven't read them since I've become much more cognizant of everything that I am cognizant of now. Do you guys ever go back and read books and go, wow, the consciousness change was like, I see this book completely different now,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just at the current point. I'm at the current point where I have so many books that I haven't read that I'm trying to get to. That trying to read something again right now is just not even conceivable.
Not on the docket.
Dude, put on the audiobook and grab the book and then go with it with the audiobook. It'll force you to like keep up with it and then just knock a chapter out every day.
That's not a bad idea. If it's something I already
And then
have
you'll
read,
just jam through books in no time.
Well, yeah, no,
Like
that's,
everyone's got 5 minutes to stop scrolling Facebook and read a chapter out of a book.
Well, no, I was actually thinking. Well, see, I was thinking about actually reading books, which again, I have so many that I haven't read yet that I need to. But that's actually not a bad idea for books that I already have read to listen to the audiobook, because I don't need to pay as much attention. Although I'm trying, I mean, you know what I mean. Like you're trying to listen with new ears, but you still don't have to listen as closely because you know the book already to a certain extent. So yeah, that's probably not such a bad idea. That my problem with listening to audiobooks is I don't get as much from it, so I end up having to read it afterwards.
You have to follow along.
So and plus I'm constantly listening to podcasts too. So and plenty of them
Yeah, you
are
don't wanna
more.
cut
Yeah,
into
swap
that,
a podcast out for a chapter. Like that's what I've been doing with books.
Again, I was actually thinking this to it's funny, I was thinking this to myself over this past weekend that I really need to start committing, like, I was going to commit like an hour a day of just actually sitting down and reading, because I'm somebody who usually has to start a book and actually finish one book before. I don't like to juggle multiple books.
Okay.
Yeah, same
You're not
here.
a juggler.
But
I'm a juggler, man. I'll have like 4 of them going at once.
I know, but currently I do actually have 3 books that I started that I haven't finished yet that I need to get back to. So I was thinking,
flip a coin or not flip a coin. Yeah, dude, just pick one and go with it.
no,
I read
it
multiple
out.
books. I usually read like one nonfiction and one fiction, and like try to, you know what I mean. That way, it doesn't get too
I've
cross-wired in
Take
my
a break
brain.
from one.
Yeah. Well, see, I probably could do that because currently I'm actually reading a fiction book for once, which I haven't read fiction since I gave up on Steve. Well, no, that's not true. I was going to say since I gave up on Stephen King, but even after that, I was reading those. Who is it? Vince Flynn wrote all those. He had that like superhero
Like
cop guy, Mitch Rapp stories.
Mitch Rapp, yeah, he's like the super agent. or
Yeah,
whatever.
which looking back at it, it's like, oh man, what a government stooge. But I was when I was a good little statist, I love those fucking books. But that was
But
so that
he's
was
so
I love the
cool,
Tom
though.
Clancy books.
6-7 years
You don't
ago.
like the
Hell
Tom
yeah.
Clancy
Tom Clancy.
books and all
Fuck
this?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them all. I love them all.
Right.
Yeah, I read most of those.
I love them all. I'm a sucker for them.
Yeah, I read most of those.
Actually,
It's like a
speaking
guilty
of
pleasure, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of fiction, so something I've got involved in on Steemit. I know, my God, Steemit, but like something I got involved in on Steemit recently since I came back to it about 3 months ago. Because like now it's been established for a little while, so like people have started to develop communities to provide patronage to certain things. Like there's photography groups and like crypto groups, obviously, whatever. And there's fiction groups, and there's one in particular that runs its own Discord server through one of the newbie support channels. And it's called the Fiction Workshop, and I've gotten involved at that. And we have like 3 professional editors that are there working for free
wow,
for us, helping whoever. Like their whole big deal is
Wow.
finding people who write well and turning it into marketable quality content. Like you might have a story that like is good quality and the idea is fantastic and your skill as a writer is good, and we'll sit there and literally just take it line by line, like, hey, maybe this might sound better this way, or maybe you should tighten this up right here to provide more of an emotional punch, or swap this with here, with this, and see. And we go through and we have like a whole spreadsheet of stories of submissions from people on Steemit, and we go through, and if it's good, if it's worthy of actual publishing,
we're not
because like one of the people that's in the
not worthy.
well, because one of the people that's in there, she's actually the assistant editor for the Perihelion science fiction magazine.
I don't
And
know
they
what
have a
that is
fantastic
either.
following. They have a fantastic following. I mean, it's an
Sounds
e-magazine,
cool.
but it's an e-magazine. But I mean, they have like I think 200,000 subscribers.
No, not bad.
Did you lose me?
No,
Am I still here?
No, we're good.
well, 200,000 subscribers
Yeah,
for anything in print these days is pretty good. In any type of print.
Well,
even-
yeah,
you
and
know
I
what I
mean,
mean,
like,
like-
granted, okay, they're not the most famous web magazine out there, but like they have a solid foundational base, and they
Yeah,
do
gotta
a
start
lot of good
somewhere,
work.
man.
So, I mean, we have professional editors, and our whole thing is we do this stuff for free. Like, we want the work to be good so that we all can benefit from having a brand that's awesome. So that when you see that brand, you're like, oh man, that's quality.
Oh, right.
So that's the whole impetus behind it. But I just, since we were on the topic of fiction, I just wanted to plug that because I think it's really cool. I'm actually really excited to be part of it.
Very nice.
That is
man.
cool, man. Because a good editor is, can be crucial to book sales or getting
And
your book at
expensive.
least read.
And they can be fucking
Oh, yeah,
expensive.
absolutely.
And we do it for free. So, hey, fuck
That's
it,
cool,
man.
man.
Free,
Cool resource.
man. You heard it here, folks. Free.
Andre, you can come up
The
and
market
edit all
provides-
my grass around my property for free, right?
Edit
No,
the
that's not
grass.
fiction work. That's nonfiction, and I don't do nonfiction. Same way I don't do poetry.
Oh, I need you to
Dave.
come over and do some non-fiction elbow grease.
Alrighty then. Yeah, I actually
Alright.
just had to spend most of yesterday, like, work, come home, spend a couple hours on the lawn, shower, work, come back home, and spend more hours on the lawn, shower again,
Is
then
it
back
hot,
to
it's
work.
hot up there right now?
Today it was. It's actually. I was talking about this. I don't know if it was last week or I was talking about somewhere else. The weather here has been crazy. It's been a mild summer overall. There's been a couple of stretches of 90 plus degree days. Like today, it creeped up there again. But overall, there is it gets down in the 60s quite often, which never happens through July and August. There's been wide drops in temperature at night, which normally isn't a thing around here. Like normally if it's like 80 plus and muggy during the day, you can be assured it's going to be like that through the night too. It's dropping to in the 60s or lower at night, like just sharply dropping. I haven't had to run my air conditioners that much other than for my kids and for the dogs. For myself, when it's just me and Cameron here, I really haven't had to run it all that much this entire summer, which is great for me. I'm saving a hell of a lot of money, but it's
hell yeah. Well,
weather has definitely been.
Let you guys in on a secret. It's still a nice, cool 100 degrees here at almost 7 o'clock at night. So
lucky you.
Good
man.
times.
Yeah,
man.
it's a muggy 90 with 100% humidity here. It's pretty not
Ooh,
good.
that's
and it's
okay.
raining like crazy.
Yeah.
You trump me on the humidity will always. Ugh, God, it's getting a little humid
Barring
here. 'Cause
monkeys,
there's a
Alabama's basically
monsoon
like a
coming in,
jungle.
but Jesus, man. Yeah, no wonder you don't want to do your yard. I don't even want to do my yard, and I don't have that level of humidity. So
It's like a
Yeah.
soup.
Well, yeah, the humidity is normally a problem here. That's another thing that's mysteriously gone largely this year. I usually just say thanks,
Well,
Harp.
I thought I remember something where they said there was going to be a big cool down in August, like almost countrywide, except for my state, of course. But it's probably God punishing us for McCain. But I'm glad you're getting some benefit from it, man.
Yeah, man.
60 degrees sounds like amazing right now.
Yeah, it's
Hell, I'll take 80. I'll take
man.
80 as a high. That's going to be the low. 80 is like the low down here right now, if you're lucky.
yeah, that's just not comfortable for me. Anyway, well, we should probably get wrapping up. I think we're closing in an hour, so. And after
just about.
after our late start with so many goddamn problems. Anyway, though, David, man, thank you for joining us tonight. This has been fun.
Oh, no, the
man,
pleasure
it was
is
a
all
pleasure.
mine, man.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, which David?
I said David. I was trying to
David.
differentiate.
I was just joking.
Oh,
the
Dave's being
proper
funny. Dave's
David.
being funny.
Yeah, he's a wiseacre, that guy. No, man, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you. I learned more than I contributed, but I appreciate you guys having me on,
that's
man.
all right.
It's always
man.
great.
That's all right. We're all here to learn, right?
Yeah.
I wish we hadn't lost some of that stuff, some of the conversations earlier. That would have been great to put out somewhere.
God, that would have made a fantastic Patreon episode. I think.
There was
It would have.
a lot of funny stuff, a lot of imitations flying around. Lost to the ether. Oh well. But anyway, Dave and Andre,
The best stuff
you
that
guys-
happens all the time.
Anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
No, just
I
really
wanted
glad to
to
have you back, David. We always love having you on here. I'm sorry, Dave. You go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Trump is a time traveler. It's proven legit. I don't have the documents, but
Well,
There's
Twitter
Biff-
speak
back.
proves it.
but they
Biff Tannen by a time traveling Trump.
yes, that meme I put out today does seem to provide more evidence of that fact. So.
Great Scott. Yeah, that was perfect.
our government
played.
is ran by a bunch of idiots. It nailed it.
Well, it's also, exactly. So, all right. Well, on that,
He should have said currently ran. Yeah, maybe he isn't a time traveler.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been applied to pretty much any of the past couple of administrations, but it's still just funny, like the stuff that pops up that he was saying just a couple of years ago about Obama that he's like doing now. It's bound to happen in that position, though. But anyway, before we get off on a tirade about that, so thanks
Don't
again.
get me talking about these Goldman Sachs employees. Anyways.
Yes,
go ahead.
thank you. Thanks again, David, for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Loved being on. Thank you.
This has been the Seeds of Liberty podcast. All of our stuff can be found at solpodcast.org. Our Patreon page is still up, and I think I said it last week. I know I promised episodes. It's going to wait till my company's finally shut down in a couple of weeks. But once that happens, I have like a bunch of stuff that's going to go up there. So thank you everybody for your continued support, and those who are not, please consider donating, because that's the easiest way to get us directly.
It helps us out a lot.
Yeah, directly funded for our hosting costs and stuff like that. Anyway, so
Absolutely.
thanks again, guys, for the conversation. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Worms.
Peace in the Middle East. I beat him.
How dare you take my line?
I beat him to it.
Whose line is it anyway?
You're a real bastard, you know.
Seeds of liberty. 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 Seeds of liberty.
Want caviar sound on a cat food budget? Creamy Radio Audio by the Freedom Fiends has great free tips so you can sound like a pro without spending like one. The most powerful form of human communication is one person speaking to another. But if people have to suffer through your sound, they'll change the channel and miss your message. Creamy Radio Audio will help you speak to the world with sound that will make people want to keep listening. Check out creamyradioaudio.com. That's creamyradioaudio.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com.